Speaking in his signature style, Howard begins. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another riveting edition of Howard's Opinion. I'm your host, Howard, and we're delighted to have you join us today as we delve into the fascinating world of sports. As we embark on this journey, let's take a moment to appreciate the intricacies, the drama, and the sheer excitement that defines the realm of athletics. Now, let's dive headfirst into our first story of the day, shall we? The National Football League is abuzz with anticipation as the 2025-26 season approaches. And what better way to kick off our discussion than by examining the playoff contenders for the upcoming season? According to recent sportsbook odds, a total of 14 teams are viewed as clear playoff contenders. It's interesting to note that 12 of these teams made it to the postseason last year. The Buffalo Bills, who reached the AFC Championship game, only to fall short against the Kansas City Chiefs, are once again considered top contenders. The Chiefs, in turn, lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. The question on everyone's mind is, are the Ravens, Bills, and Bengals on the rise? Or did they slide down a slippery slope? In the NFC, the Detroit Lions had an historic run during the 24-25 regular season, finishing with a remarkable 15-2 record. However, their playoff run was cut short by the Washington Commanders in the divisional round. Two playoff teams from last year that aren't favored to return to the postseason are the Steelers and the Vikings. The Steelers have acquired four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers, who is nearing the end of his illustrious career. Meanwhile, the Vikings will be turning to J.J. McCarthy, their 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft. As we navigate the complexities of the NFL, it's essential to consider the teams with the most consecutive playoff appearances since 2000. The Patriots lead the pack with an impressive 11 appearances, followed closely by the Chiefs with 10. And now, dear listeners, we find ourselves at a crossroads, pondering the possibilities and predicting the outcomes of the upcoming season. Will the Ravens, Bills, and Bengals continue to dominate? Or will new teams rise to the challenge? We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We're diving into a fascinating tale that combines football, history, and community. You know I love exploring the intersection of sports and society, and today's story is a perfect example. We're heading to Pottsville, Pennsylvania, where the Schuylkill County Historical Society is gearing up to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Pottsville Maroons, a team with a rich and complex history. For those who may not know, the Maroons were a professional football team that played in the 1920s, and their story is one of triumph, tragedy, and ultimately redemption. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's so special about a team from nearly a century ago? Well, my friends, it's the people involved in this celebration that make it truly remarkable. The Historical Society has assembled an impressive lineup of speakers, including former NFL stars Marvin Washington, John Booty, and Mark Kelso. These gentlemen will share their insights on the Maroons' style of football, which was characterized by hard work and determination. But what I find particularly intriguing is the connection between these speakers and the team itself. Marvin Washington, for example, is a Pennsylvania native who has visited the Maroons exhibit at the Schuylkill County Historical Society. He's got a deep understanding of the team's history and can speak to their unique style of play. And then there are the authors, Vince Genovese, David Fleming, and Jeffrey Payne, who have written extensively about the Maroons. They'll be sharing their expertise on the team's rise, fall, and redemption, which is a story that resonates with fans of football and history alike. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Howard, this all sounds very interesting, but what's the bigger picture here? Well, my friends, it's about community. It's about people coming together to celebrate their shared heritage and to honor the legacy of a team that may not have won a championship, but certainly left its mark on the sport. As we look back on the history of the Pottsville Maroons, we're reminded that sports have the power to bring us together, to transcend time and generations. And that's what this celebration is all about, honoring the past while building bridges to the future. So, if you're in the area, I encourage you to check out the 100th anniversary program on August 16th at Mountain Valley Golf Course. It promises to be a fantastic event, with great stories, interesting insights, and a healthy dose of football nostalgia. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Speaking in his signature style as the closing segment of his podcast, Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. As we wrap up today's discussion, I'd like to shift our attention to some exciting news from the world of women's basketball. The Washington State Cougars are set to participate in the second annual WBCA Showcase this fall at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. This prestigious event will bring together some of the nation's top teams, including Baylor, Central Missouri, Davidson, Iowa, Miami, and West Florida. Now, I know what you're thinking. What makes this showcase so special? Well, my friends, it's not just about the talented teams competing. It's also about the opportunity for these young athletes to gain valuable experience and exposure on a national stage. And let me tell you, the WBCA Showcase is the perfect platform for them to do just that. As we look at the lineup, it's clear that Washington State has its work cut out for them. They'll be facing off against Missouri on November 20th, and I'm expecting a thrilling matchup. But what about this event is that it's not just about winning or losing. It's about the passion, dedication, and hard work that these student athletes bring to the court every day. And speaking of dedication, I'd like to give a shout-out to Gonzaga's rising senior Grace Lee, who recently won the 32nd Washington Women's Amateur Championship. Her impressive performance earned her an exemption into the 2025 U.S. Women's Amateur at Bandon Dunes Golf Resort in Oregon. What an incredible achievement! As we move forward, I'm excited to see how these talented athletes continue to grow and develop in their respective sports. From college football to golf, volleyball, and hockey, there's no shortage of exciting news and storylines to explore. So, as we conclude today's episode of Howard's Opinion, I want to leave you with a thought. The world of sports is full of talented individuals who are pushing themselves to new heights every day. Whether it's on the court, field, or rink, these athletes remind us of the importance of perseverance, teamwork, and passion. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts.